Hi, fourth grade Cougars, it's Mrs. Bellatash. I'm glad to be back with you. We're gonna start our actual science unit this time. So these are the things you need. You need to have your science notebook, you need a pencil, and you need your bag of supplies. We're gonna open that today. Before we do anything else, let's get our notebook, open it up to the table of contents, right? The table of contents, and I'm gonna put number 2. And this title, the title of this one is going to be Lighting a Bulb, like lighting a light bulb. And it's going to be on page, so 1, 2, 3. On mine, it's going to be on page 5 because I had notes from our engineering build. So mine is going to be on page 5. I'm going back to my table of contents and I'm putting the page number. So lighting a bulb, and mine is on page 5. Yours is going to be whatever page yours is going to be. And now I'm going to go to page 5 in my notebook. See, this is from my last lesson. And this is 8/31/2020 for me. That's the day I'm doing this lesson. And the title is Lighting a Bulb. Please write that in your notebook, lighting a bulb, and put the date that is your date, not 8/31/2020, because that's the day I'm doing my lesson, okay? All right, now let's open the bag. Okay, I'm gonna put my stuff to the side, and I'm gonna open up the bag. I'm gonna try not to rip it. Try not to rip the bag, because you might want to keep that for supplies. Or if you want, you can get a plastic bag. Oh, plastic is so bad. Okay, we're gonna use this. Take this out, and you might want to keep it near your science notebook from now on. If you might have this in your bag. I did not have enough for every single person to have this in their bag. You might have it, you might not. I want you to take out a battery, and you should have a little envelope like this. Inside this envelope is a light bulb, and you should have 2 red wires, okay? And that's what we're gonna take out for today. So you're going to have a battery, a light bulb, and 2 red wires. If you have this is called a D-cell holder. You can take that. If you don't have that, you can have a piece of some tape if you have some tape at home, okay? And it doesn't have to be Scotch tape. It could be masking tape, all right? Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about energy. Energy is really a big theme in 4th grade. We're gonna be talking about it the entire year. So it's kind of good that we're starting with it today. So, like, what does the word energy mean? What do we need energy for? What does energy actually do? Well, let's try to investigate that by doing this little experiment. So I've got a flashlight here, and I'm going to turn the flashlight on. So I don't see any light coming out of the flashlight. So it doesn't seem to be working. So I am going to, oh yes, see, there's no batteries inside. So I have all the parts of the flashlight. I have the light bulb, I have the container, I have the switch, but nothing is actually making the light turn on because there's no energy source. So I need to have a source of energy. Voila! This is a battery. This is called a D-cell battery, and so I'm gonna put the D-cell battery into the tube. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna turn on this, oh, and there we go! Now my flashlight turns on. And I can turn it off, okay? Now, where did the energy come from to make the flashlight work? The battery, right? It didn't come from the light bulb. because I tried to turn on the flashlight when there was no battery, didn't work. So the battery or the D cell is where the energy is stored. That's the source of the energy. Okay, did it make a difference if I put the batteries in a different order? So here we go. I'm going to take the flashlight apart and I have the batteries. Do you notice that this battery, it has one part that has a bump up and one part that's flat. So I'm going to put this one in with the bump up, and this one I'm going to put the bump down. Okay. Okay, I have the source of energy, but the system is not arranged correctly. So in order for the batteries to work, in order for the flashlight to work, the system has to be built correctly. Okay, so bump up, and this time the system is put together properly and it should work. Yes, my flashlight works. So energy is stored in this battery inside my flashlight, and energy makes things happen. In this case, the energy made the flashlight turn on the light. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this battery. Now, scientifically, it's actually called a D cell. When you put two cells together, it's a battery, but most people call it a battery. And the battery is the source of the energy, right? Because when I had the flashlight and I didn't have batteries inside, it didn't work. So the light bulb doesn't store the energy, the switch doesn't store the energy. The stored energy is in the battery. And the battery is called the energy source. Now, we're going to be using batteries, and the batteries that we're going to be using are totally safe. So this is a safe source of electrical energy. Actually, there's chemicals stored in here, and there's a chemical reaction which creates extra electrons, which is a source of electricity. Okay, so this is safe energy. However, boys and girls, the energy that comes out of the electric socket in the wall is not safe. Do not ever put anything into an electrical socket unless it's specifically designed for that. So please don't put any of our wires into the electrical socket. Never put anything metal inside of an electrical socket. We are using a D cell and batteries because it's a safe source of electrical energy. So this is an energy source, and it stores electrical energy. Okay, so now, boys and girls, you have this little thing, and this is the light bulb, and I'm opening up this envelope. I put it in an envelope so that it wouldn't get broken. And here is my light bulb, okay? So my question is this: how can we get this light bulb to turn on, to actually give off light? And light is a form of energy, and energy makes things happen. So how can we get this light bulb to give off light? Well, we need an energy source, right? This light bulb is not an energy source. This battery is an energy source. So just like in our flashlight, somehow we need to get the energy from the batteries to the light bulb. Okay, so we've got the battery, we've got the light bulb, and I also gave you 2 red wires. Now, boys and girls, you can do this with 1 red wire. You can also try it with 2. So I'm going to give you a few minutes, and I want you to see if you can figure out how to do this. Now, before I go on, if you have one of these, you can put the D cell inside, and you'll see that the D cell touches both ends. Now, these little things at the end are called fawn stock clips, and they're fantastic because they will hold the wire. So you see this? You can push down, and then there's a little thing that pops up, and I'm going to put my wire in there. and it holds the wire. So you can use this. If you don't have the D-cell holder, you can get a piece of tape and you can tape the wire onto the D-cell like I did here, okay? All right, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes and I want you to see if you can light up the light bulb. Okay, so I'm hoping that some of you had some success. What I did is I put some tape at both ends of the D-cell and I taped the wire to the D-cell. So I know that the wire is a conductor, and we're going to talk about this more later. The wire will conduct the electricity. It will go through the wire, and right now it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting in the wire. So right now I need to be able to transfer that energy into the light bulb. So I'm going to put this on the bottom of the light bulb, and I'm going to put this on the side of the light bulb, and I'm getting a little bit of light. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of light. It's a very dim light, but it's turning on. I'm going to do a close-up for you. Okay, so boys and girls, this is a close-up of this system. So first, here's the D-cell. It's the source of the energy. The energy is going to go through the wire, and it's coming up to the light bulb. And well, you can see it's hard. You have to keep it just right. And then it goes back to the other end of the D-cell. So this is one complete system. All right, so boys and girls, what we made was a system. And a system is an organized group of related objects that work together. So remember last week when we talked about what is technology? Technology can be a tool, a system, or a process. So a system is an organized group of things that work together. Like this tape is a system. These objects are related and they work together. So this circuit that we made to light the light bulb is a system. The D-cell stores the energy. And then the system transfers the electricity through the wires to the light bulb. And in the light bulb, the electrical energy is turned into light. It is transformed, it is changed, it's converted. And then it goes back to the D-cell. It goes in a system. Okay, so boys and girls, there's a lot of vocabulary that I want us to talk about for a minute. So again, we went over what is this, a system, and we used electric current to, and electric current is, it has energy. It's carrying energy from the D-cell to the light bulb, okay? And we made a circuit, and a circuit is a path to carry the electricity. There were a number of components in our circuits. Components are the objects in the circuit. So in our circuit, the components were the D-cell, which was the source of the energy, the wires, which helped carry the energy in the circuit, and the light bulb, which transformed or transferred the energy. Okay, and energy transfer. An energy transfer, it moves the energy from A to B, or from one place to the other. The wires transferred the energy from the D-cell through the wire to the light bulb. And then the light bulb converted or turned that electric energy into light energy. So let's take a look at this. This is called a diagram, a circuit diagram. And here's the D-cell. Boys and girls, do you notice that on your D-cell, one end has a plus? And that plus is on the end that's sticking up. And the plus means it's positive, and the minus means it's negative. Electricity always flows from the negative end. It goes out of the negative end. It's transferred through the wire to the light bulb. And then once it goes in the light bulb, it goes up the wires inside, through the filament, back down, and then transfers back to the positive end of the D cell. And when it does that, it gives off light. Okay, so boys and girls, I took a large light bulb, right? Here's a teeny light bulb. This is what you guys have. And I took a big light bulb and I broke it. I put it into a bag, I smashed the glass so we could look really closely at all the parts. So I want to start down at the bottom. You notice, if you look really closely at the light bulb, there's this metal part, and then there's this black part, and then there's a metal part again, okay? Metal is a conductor. It transfers the electricity. This black part is, I think, made out of ceramic, and it is not a conductor. It's an insulator. And that basically separates this end part, which is a conductor, from the side part, and that's a really important part of the light bulb. We'll come back to that more later. Now, this little piece here at the top, that is called the filament. What happens in a light bulb is the electricity comes in from the side, from the metal, because it's a conductor. It's transferred up these wires, up this metal, and then it travels through the filament. Now, the filament, because the electricity, the electrons travel through them, it creates friction. And we all know that when things have a lot of friction, they get hot. And when it gets really hot, it starts to glow. And so the filament starts to glow. And when it glows enough, it gives off light. So then the electricity goes back down inside and out the bottom. So this is a real close-up of what an inside of a light bulb looks like. It's pretty cool. Okay, so boys and girls, at school, I have something here called a circuit board, and it just helps me to hold everything in place so that I can make a video of it. So I want to show you this complete circuit. So this is the D cell. It is the source of the electricity. The electricity leaves the negative end of the D cell. And look, this is a piece of metal here, and it has connected to the D cell. Then this wire connects to that. That is a contact point. The electricity travels through the wire. It's transferring the energy to the next contact point. And that's when this metal, the wire, connects to that wire holder. And then where the bulb holder is screwed into this, the bulb base, that's another contact point. Then the electricity is transferred through the metal to the next contact point where there is another clip with the wire is connected. And then the electricity is transferred again through the metal back to another contact point. Every single one of these components is part of the entire system. And again, a system is a group of components or objects working together. And this is an electrical system. Okay, so boys and girls, we are going to do some work in our notebook. So please get your notebook out. And you should have this packet here. And I want you to take the first page which says lighting bulbs and get a pair of scissors, and because the paper is just a little bit too long, I'm going to trim off the bottom part. I might even trim it a little smaller. Okay, like this. And I'm going to glue it into my page. Now, with my light, with my title is covering up my title. It's okay. I'll put the title above the line. And I'm gonna glue it into my page like this, okay? I had the date, and I just covered up lighting the bulb, and I'll put the title up there later. Okay, now it says, write a prediction for each circuit in the small box. If you think it will light, write yes. If you think it won't light, write no. And I want you to take a minute and make that prediction now.
Okay, now let's take a look at the first one. I said no. The reason I said no is because the electricity goes out the bottom. It touches only the bottom of the light bulb. It has to touch both the bottom and the side, but it does not touch the side, goes back, so it does not light. Here, B, I said no, because first of all, there's no wire connected to the bottom, the negative end of the D cell. We know that electricity always leaves the negative end of the D cell. And it's not a complete circuit. And I said C, no. The electricity leaves the end of the D cell. It touches the side of the light bulb, but it does not touch the bottom of the light bulb. And so it goes back in without lighting the light bulb. Number D, I said yes. The electricity leaves the negative end of the D cell. It travels through the wire. It touches the end of the light bulb. It lights up the light bulb, and then it comes out the side of the light bulb. Yes. Letter D, yes. The electricity leaves the end of the D cell. It touches the end of the light bulb. It goes through the light bulb, through the filament, and then it comes back out the side and goes back. Letter F, no. First of all, it's not a complete circuit. There's no electricity leaving the negative end of the D cell.
And then, boys and girls, the next page is a close-up picture of the light bulb, and I'm going to trim off the bottom. I think this is a good idea for us to glue into our science notebook. So I'm going to put it on the back of the next page, because getting the light bulb to light up is a really important thing for us to know about. And again, when we look at the light bulb, we see that there's this piece of metal, which is a conductor, this black part that is not a conductor, it's an insulator, and the metal on the side, which is a conductor. And now, boys and girls, on the next page, we need to answer this question in our notebook. The focus question is, what is needed to light a bulb? So let's think about some of the things that we needed in order to make that light bulb light up. So the first thing you need is a source of energy. The second thing you need is a way to transfer the energy from the battery, the source of energy, to the light bulb. So you need a wire. And you need to have the light bulb so that it can actually turn the electricity into light. So I'm going to write an answer. You write something in your notebook, and then I'll share mine with you. So I wrote something in my notebook. What is needed to light a bulb? There needs to be an energy source, a battery. Then there needs to be a path to transfer the electrical energy to the light bulb. The electrical energy needs to make the filament glow and give off light. There needs to be a path to take the electricity out of the bulb and back to the battery. You don't have to write that, but you do need to tell me in your own words the complete system. Make sure to include the names of all the components, the battery, the wires, the light bulb. Make sure to talk about the light being from the filament. You might want to talk about the contact points. All right, this was a really big lesson. Next week, we're going to talk about some insulators and conductors.